So acceleration, how we define acceleration? Acceleration, as we know, it is change in velocity per unit time. So how the velocity changes in a unit time, what we call acceleration. And how to calculate acceleration? So how to calculate an acceleration? The formula to calculate acceleration, A is equals to V minus U divided by T. V, what is V here? V is the final velocity, U is the starting velocity, A is acceleration, and T is the time interval. And T is the time. The units, the SI, the standard unit of speed is meter per second. The standard unit for speed or velocity, same, meter per second. Acceleration is meter per second square, and time is equals to second. So you can identify the quantity from the units as well. So acceleration is a vector quantity. So when we say it's a vector quantity, the term vector quantity means it has magnitude, unit, and direction. All three things are there. It has magnitude, means the number is there. It will have a specific unit, which is meter per second square, and it will also have a direction. But how to identify the direction, that's an important thing. How to identify the direction? So it depends on the direction of the velocity. So direction of acceleration depends on direction of velocity. Example, if I give an example, say an object was moving with a speed of 10 meter per second and hit the surface and bounce back after hitting the surface. The object bounced back with a speed of 8 meter per second or 18 meter per second. And the question is, find the time interval it took to change the velocity. It took, example, 4 seconds to change the velocity moving from position A to position B. So what you can do, because velocity is a vector quantity as well, so directions of the velocities are always important. If downward you are taking as negative, then upward should be positive. So downward you took as negative, it's up to you. It's one of them is negative, the other one should be positive. So in this example, if downward I took negative, then upward I should take as positive. So they will not mention this, which one you should take positive or negative. It's up to you. Any one of them you can take positive, then the opposite direction will be negative. So how to find the acceleration? The formula. So this is a starting velocity. The starting velocity is called u, and this one is the final velocity, which is called v, and t is the time. So how to find acceleration? The formula for acceleration, it's v minus u divided by t. So what is v? V is the final speed, which is 18, minus, it's a negative sign for the formula. U is the starting velocity. This was a starting velocity. I will not take 10, I will take minus 10. Because velocity is a vector quantity, so directions are important. Divided by time interval, so time is equals to 4. So this minus multiplied with minus, it's plus. So this will become 18 plus 10 divided by 4. So when I solve, this will be 28 divided by 4, which is equals to 7 or plus 7 meter per second square. So the value for acceleration for this example, the acceleration was plus 7 meter per second square. But what about the direction? Because sometimes they ask state the direction of the acceleration. So how you can identify the direction? You have to check your sign of acceleration with the directions. Because in this example, the downward direction I consider as negative and the upward direction I consider as positive. So downward I consider negative and upward positive. And what is my final answer? My final answer is positive. So what is the direction of the acceleration? The direction of acceleration is upward. Is it clear? This example, because acceleration is the change in velocity, so it's final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. The final velocity was 18 and initial was 10, but because the directions are opposite, so if the directions are opposite, what it shows? It shows that I'm getting plus 18 for, if I took plus 18 for final, then I took minus 10 for initial. Reason, because their directions are opposite. So we substitute v minus u over t. So 18 minus, and then in a bracket minus 10 divided by 4, which is equals to plus 7 meter per second square. So positive sign, because the positive sign was upward, that's why acceleration direction is upward. Is it clear? Any doubt in this concept of direction of the acceleration? So you use the formula. What answer you will get, according to that answer, you will check the directions which you took, initial directions. And if upward direction you took positive and your final answer is positive, it means direction of acceleration is upward. If downward direction you took negative and your final answer was negative, it means the direction will be downward. Another example, take the screenshot, then I'll give another example to understand the concept, the direction of acceleration, or what will be the direction of acceleration. So example, an object was moving with 4 meter per second. Then it changes its speed to 10 meter per second, and the time interval was example 2 seconds. So at position A and B. And this object is accelerating because speed is increasing. Whenever the object speed increases, we call object is accelerating. Now, initially, the starting speed is 4 and the final speed is 10. The direction does not change. So if the direction does not change, if the first value is positive, the second value should also be positive, the same, because the direction is not changing. If the direction changes, then if one value you took positive, the other one will be negative. So if I calculate an acceleration, so it will be v minus u divided by t. So v is the final, which is 10, minus initial was 4, and divided by time interval was 2. So 10 minus 4, which is 6, and 6 divided by 2 equal to 3 meter per second square. So I'm getting a positive answer, and the positive direction is towards right. In this, the positive direction is towards right. So if the question is, what is the direction of acceleration? What's the direction of acceleration in this example?
Right.
So because, yeah, that's right, it's correct. It's towards right. Because the right hand side we took positive and we are getting a positive answer. So direction of acceleration is towards right hand side. Same thing, if the object was decelerating, take the screenshot for this. If the object is decelerating, or speed of object is decreasing, so object was moving with 15 meter per second and its speed changes to 10 meter per second. So because the direction remains same, if the direction does not change, so if one I took positive, the other one should also be positive, because velocity is a vector quantity. So if direction change, we have to represent by a negative sign. If direction does not change, then the sign should be same. Now if I, and it took example 3 seconds or 5 seconds. So if I want to find acceleration, acceleration is final minus initial divided by time. So final velocity is 10, initial velocity is 15, and divided by time, the time is 5. So it will be minus 5 divided by 5, which is equals to minus 1 meter per second square. So the value of the acceleration or deceleration actually is decelerating. It's minus 1. But what about the direction?
Left.
Yeah, in this example, because the previous example we were getting a positive answer, and positive answer was towards right, so we are getting right. But here in this example, the right hand side is positive because we took, so it means our left hand side will be negative. And what is our answer? Our answer is negative. So what is the direction of acceleration? The direction of acceleration is towards left. Is it clear, the concept of direction of acceleration? So you will solve the question and identify the direction according to the question. So this was, no, the formula for acceleration is the change in velocity is always final minus initial. That's a formula. It cannot be 15 minus 10. It's always final velocity minus initial velocity. So whenever you're finding a direction, it's always final velocity minus initial divided by time. So using this, you can identify the direction of acceleration. So basically what we can say, if the direction of, you can see here, the direction of acceleration and the direction of the motion, object was moving towards right and acceleration is also towards right. So if the direction of motion and direction of acceleration are same, the object will speed up. Means the speed of object will increase. So if in this example, the direction of motion is towards right, the object was moving towards right and acceleration is also towards right. So both are in the same direction. What happened? So if the direction of motion and direction of acceleration are same, the object will speed up or the speed of object will increase. But what happened if the direction of acceleration is opposite to direction of motion? The object will slow down or speed of object will decrease. Take the screenshot of this. Then how we define a force? It is agent which produce or tend to produce change in state. So if you want to produce a change in state, what agent is necessary? You should have a force. Like example, an object is stationary at rest on the floor or on the ground. So this object is on the ground, it's stationary or rest. How I can move this object? So what I should do? I should apply a force. Because if I want to make it, or if I want to move this object, so what I have to do? I have to apply a force so that this object can move. Same thing, if there was a moving object, say a sphere is rolling on the floor and it is moving towards right. And I want to stop this object. So how I can stop this object? I can stop this object by applying a force. So force is the agent which produce or tend to produce a change in state. Like if something is stationary, a force can make it move. If something is moving, the force can stop that. So force, the tendency of a force is tend to change the state of an object. And the SI unit of the force is equals to Newton and denoted by capital N. So force is an agent which produce or tend to produce change in state. The SI unit of force and the instrument which is used to measure force so force can be measured by spring balance or force meter. So either a force meter, that's force meter or spring balance, same thing. So force meter or spring balance, you can mention any name. It is used to measure the force exerted by the or on the object. So if I want to identify how much force I'm applying on this object or how much force is required to move this object, so what I will do, I will attach a spring balance here or a force meter and pull this object. So the reading on the force meter will show how much force we are applying on the object. And it is a vector quantity. So force is a vector quantity, so it means it has magnitude, unit, and direction. And how to identify the direction of the force? So direction of the force is always same as direction of acceleration. So when we apply force on the object will accelerate. So direction of acceleration and direction of force are always same. Like in the previous examples, the object was accelerating. If I say, can you identify the direction of the force? So how you can identify the direction of the force? You have the direction of acceleration. So if direction of acceleration is towards right, what should be the direction of the force? The direction of the force is also towards right. Basically, the force is applied to change the speed of an object. But in the next example, the object was slowing down. So, and the direction of acceleration is towards left. So if I say what is the direction of the force in this example, in what direction the force is applied? The force is applied to stop the object or to slow down the object. So direction of force is towards left. So whenever the object speed up, the object speed increase, the direction of the force and acceleration is same as the direction of the motion. But if object slow down, the direction of the force is opposite to the direction of the motion, and that is why that's how you tend to slow down an object. So if object is moving towards right, you have to apply force in opposite direction so that you can slow down the object. And if you want to speed up the object, so if object is moving towards right, you should also apply a force in the same direction as the motion so that the object can speed up or speed of object will increase. Is it clear, the concept of the force and how the direction of the force? Any doubt in this? If any part, any topic you find it difficult or you have doubt or you want me to revise, just let me know in a chat, or you can use your mic as well to convey any query or question you have. So whenever the object speed increases, the direction of motion and acceleration and force are same. When that object speed decreases, the direction of motion, force, and acceleration are opposite to like direction of acceleration or force are same, but they are opposite to direction of the motion. Then what are the effects of force? It can change speed of an object. It can change state of an object. Like object is stationary, it can make it move, or object is moving, it can make it stationary, or it can change shape or size or length. And it can change direction. direction of an object. So these are some effects of the force. The force can change the speed of an object. It can change the speed at which the object is moving. It can change that also. It can change the shape of an object. You can deform an object by applying a force, or it can change the direction of an object. So whenever force is applied, these are the some effects of force.